Good morning and welcome to Back of House Business Innovation. My name is Debra Fraser and I really enjoy finding different ways for businesses to be successful. So today what I'm going to explore is valuing your business or understanding what makes your business valuable. And so in the studio with me today, I'm very excited to have Tony Arena from BCI Business Brokers. So welcome, Tony.
Hi, Deborah.
Excellent. So great for you that you would come in and explain further to us about how important the value of your business is from a perspective of outsiders.
Yeah, so I think that when you're looking at value of a business, you have to go back to when you first started your business and what was your intention, what was your motivation. Maybe you thought that this was a business, a sort of activity that you'd like to do. Maybe you thought you could make a difference. Maybe you just wanted an income, or maybe you want to build a massive size business. So I think that if that last element, if you do want to build a business of value, you have to actually ask the question, how are we going to do that, especially in today's environment?
Yeah, absolutely, because there's so many people doing the same things, and how do you make yourself stand out and and at the same time be really successful if you want to be, take it nationally if you want to, or whatever. So okay, so I believe that in data is to be able to do that and to leverage your business so it can become national or international, you need to have systems in place. So how do you feel about the importance of systems and how can we get them?
Highly important. So systems, look, a system is if I do A, B will happen. It's like a machine, it's like a cog. If I do this every morning, then this will happen. So there's a cause and effect. Typically a system is systemizing your bookkeeping or systemizing your marketing. A lot of people don't think about systemizing the marketing.
Well, that's true. They just sort of throw it out there, don't they?
See what happens today if we advertise,
Exactly.
We'll put a post on LinkedIn and see if anyone reads it. I mean, it's haphazard. It's not systemized. To systemize your practices and procedures, most importantly. Every single business, part of your business can be systemized, and the proof of that is from the world of franchising. Franchising gives us a great example here of what we're talking about, because it's actually identified and hones in on those areas that are important to producing businesses of value.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most high profile of all, of course, is McDonald's.
Yeah.
You have young people from 14 years of age, I guess, to 16, and everyone follows the system, and it works the same. So everything is about consistency.
Yeah, exactly. Doing the same thing over and over, and varying it when you have to. So when we look at business value, we look at three particular areas. There's three ways to build business value. Obviously, the higher the profit, the higher the value. There's some questions around that. For example, you can have a highly profitable business that's not valuable.
That's right, because it could be that it depends on the owner. So if the owner wasn't there working in the business, although it might be making a profit of $1 million, it means nothing if the business owner is working 80 hours a week, for example.
So let's look at that point, which is transferability. So it's Debra Fraser, and it's all around, say, Debra Fraser, and if there's no infrastructure around your business, when someone comes to buy your business, they're going to say, well, what am I buying? Unless I keep you on for 2 or 3 years, or if that's the case with a lot of personal service businesses. But the way to build that business into a business of value is to create an infrastructure, create a brand that sort of exists, a business that exists outside of the owner, so that when I come along to buy it, I can say, well, there's what I'm buying, and the owner can leave and the income's still there.
That's right, because you need to be able to know that a business owner goes off for 2 weeks every 3 months and the business still runs as well as it without them.
Exactly. And the other point is, outside of profitability and transferability, is maintainability. So we need to think about the business we're in today, and we need to say, is that business going to be around in 5 years' time? Look at the number of businesses that have just disappeared off the face of the earth in the last 5 years, 10 years, 15 years.
Well,
there's always, the pace of change has accelerated, but there are always businesses that are disappearing because people didn't look ahead and think, what could interrupt my business here? What could disrupt my business? What could take my place? Now, many of those business owners could have actually adapted and become the person that disrupted or took their place by thinking ahead and thinking, well, if I just keep doing the same old thing, I'm going to be redundant.
That's right.
People won't need me anymore. But a little tweak within my business is good enough for innovation, and that can mean that I'll survive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the case with the video stores, for instance, I mean, they could have made it so that people could come in for something else into the video store, learn how to
Well, the video store actually lived longer than most people thought. When I first started selling businesses 30 years ago, they said, video's dead.
Really?
It's going to be cable TV was going to kill it. Well, it didn't kill it.
No.
And then streaming finally killed it, but video kept on getting another leg. They started putting TV series in there.
That's right.
They started selling video rather than hire. They tried to put all sorts of other services around it, but eventually it died, and it was streaming that killed it.
That's right, exactly. But even so, for that one, even for your own business, it doesn't matter what it is. You need to always be looking at what new ways you can be attracting customers, because people do. I mean, we all get stale about things that business owners can do if they're selling the same thing. Like even and for bookkeeping, for instance, if I just say that I'm just doing bookkeeping, well, it's people will just go, so what? But if I can change that and say, well, I also can educate you about what it means what a profit and loss means, or come in and do a workshop on Xero. I can freshen up with all those sorts of things. Workshops, I think, are a great way to revitalise your business, because people can see, you can be showing people your expertise in various things.
Look, there's no doubt that small business is under huge pressure at the moment. I talk to people that reckon they haven't recovered from the GFC, and that was 8 years ago?
That's right, it is 08 now.
So, but what you have to do, and everyone can do this, if you have a team within your business, what you do is you put that team together in a room, facilitate it yourself, or get a professional facilitator in, like Debra or whatever that might be, and say, okay guys, where are we at in our business? What are the threats? What else can we do? And you'd be surprised at the wonderful resource there is within your own employees.
I totally
people don't think about this. People think, it's all on me and I'm under pressure. What am I going to do? Am I going to pay the bills and get the rent this month? No, let's look a little bit more optimistically. Let's think that there is something that you could be doing in your business. What is it? And open it up to your staff team, because they'll give you ideas that will blow your mind.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that, because you just really need to explore the talents of your people, because they know your business just as well as you do, really, because they're every day as well. They've got their thoughts about it, and they can really help you propel your business and help you with putting your systems in place. If you say we're going to do systems, I mean, they all have their ideas.
Okay, so here's a one-page practice and procedures manual. Get your staff together and say to each single one of them, would you please write out for me what you do on a daily basis for a full day? And there you got the beginning of an operations manual.
Too easy.
What's more, you read that and you think, geez, I didn't know they were doing that. They should have been doing that down there. And suddenly you get a really good overview of the operations within your business. But if you don't ask the question, you won't get the answer.
That's right. That's a very good point, actually, because I think even as a business owner, if you write down what you do every day, you might be quite shocked at what you are doing and what you should actually be doing. I spend all my time answering employees' queries, and you'd be going, well, actually, if I had a system in place, they could be answering their own questions.
Of course, of course. The more resource, the more you trust your employees, and this is the tough part, because owners, we like to control things. The more you actually can let control devolve through your organisation, the more trust you give people, that will be returned in spades.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so just to sort of recap with getting value for today, you need to systemise, and it's really easy. You can just start with asking all your employees what they do. You can also just make sure that you're looking at how you as an owner can be delegating and to be outside the business to show the value, and to also be looking at not just how profitable you are, but just how attractive you can be if you're just totally outside the business, and people will pay more money for that. And then actually, for everything you've said, underlying it all is actually very easy to do. You just have to stop, think, and realise what you can do to add value, and it can help. And obviously, Tony can help a lot with that as well, if you want to contact him regarding that. So, Tony, thank you very much for coming in today and bringing out all those valuable points about valuing your business. It's been really terrific. And thank you, everyone, for watching today, and we look forward to seeing you at our next episode.
Thank you.